Let's get to the fights this weekend. Let's break them down. First up, obviously, the marquee one, Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor on DAZN in the U.S., Sky Box Office in the U.K., happening in the O2 in London. I'm excited for this one. Like, this is one of those that, on top of just being a great fight on paper, there's like nationalistic lines that ties into it, UK versus US, which, come on, guys, we love that. We love that narrative. And it's two undefeated fighters. Good knockout percentage from both of them. Great boxers overall. The winner of this seems to be on a path towards a pound for pound spot in the next couple years. And this fight just seems like it has a lot of meaning to it, even though the meaning is not immediate at this point in time. But guys, just sort of preliminary thoughts about the fight. Prograis Taylor, Rob. I mean, it's here. It's coming up obviously this Saturday. Are you hyped? I mean, the gloves off was, I think, yesterday, the day before. I want to say it was released. I watched part of it. I didn't watch all of it, to be honest. But I will say this: when I saw it, it was like only like an hour or two after it was posted, and it already had like 60,000 views. So good for this fight that seems to be at least trending for our community. But Rob, your preliminary thoughts on sort of the hype of this fight, the attention it's getting, sort of the meaning behind sort of the winner of this fight and what it could mean for this division, so on and so forth, before we get into the X's and O's and our prediction.
It's obviously a fantastic fight. I don't think it's necessarily one for the casual market. I think it is another one for us, much like on another level, but much like Beterbiev and Vajdik. I think
Absolutely.
It's that kind of, maybe a little more mainstream here than over there on your side of things. But yeah, amazing fight. It's a real, I don't know. This is as close to a 50-50, I think. I'm not sure if the betting reflects that. I'll check that in a minute. But it is a tough pick because you can see both guys winning it.
Absolutely.
You really can. You can make an argument for both, and no one can particularly really argue against your argument. Whichever one you side with. But it's a fantastic fight. And as far as promotion and buzz for it over here, let me tell you, Regis Prograis has done the circuit big time.
Good
promotion. And interestingly, I think he's linked up with an ESPN, I think top rank sort of publicist, and she's got him hooked up for everything. He's done Talk Sport.
Do you know who the publicist is?
I can't remember the name.
When you find that, even if it's after the show, send it to me if you find that information out.
Yeah, okay, I will do.
You know me.
I'll find it in the show.
Theories.
I remember Raging Babe gave a shout out to.
Emily.
Yes,
I'm Emily. You follow me. We talk all the time. I'm not gonna try to butcher your last name. I think it's like Greek or Italian. But Emily, you're awesome. You definitely do a great job.
So he's linked up with her.
That's good
for promote, and yeah, he's been everywhere. Sneakily, I hope it's took something out of him because he's been really pushing it. We've had all his stories of the Katrina, the hurricane, and just what he went through with that, and
the other one, I forget the name of it. That hit Houston, obviously.
So he's really come across well. It seems like a cool guy, and obviously as soon as he can talk about that, and he seems really nice, talks about his family or like life story, but the minute the name Josh Taylor comes up, there's a change in
quickly, we have a contrary information here to what you said. Potential lunatic, obviously good friend of the show, sort of like an unofficial associate producer, saying that it's Melissa, again, another last name I'm not going to try to pronounce, that is actually the publicist you're thinking of, which I want to say lunatic might be right. It might have been her because I remember both of them were getting shout-outs recently. But digress from that, brief thought on just the pay-per-view over there in the UK, Rob, because obviously this fight's on DAZN over here. It's already in a, it's overseas. It's, like you said, a hardcore fight, and it's on DAZN. Like, the topic of what this fight could do in terms of numbers isn't a US topic. It's more of a UK topic because it's pay-per-view over there. So what do you think it does? To sort of give a ballpark number, Maybe compare it to a fight that did maybe around the numbers you're thinking of.
Well,
Like quick
Campbell,
example. Sorry, will this do better than Warrington Frampton?
I can't remember those numbers.
Doesn't matter. Do you just think it will do better?
No.
No. Okay.
Although one's on BT, one's Sky. It depends on the level of
Push and attention.
viewership, I guess. But for me, what was it? Campbell, Lomachenko, Rumis. What was it?
Something. Yeah.
230?
220.
No, 20, like low 200s. Campbell, Olympic gold medalist. Obviously, Lomachenko's is like
Lomachenko.
pound guy. I don't know. I think 200-ish, maybe. I think it, like I said at the start, this is kind of a hardcore fight, really. This isn't going to be grabbing a bunch. But I mean, Josh Taylor's got Scotland, right behind him, so maybe it'll do good numbers in that regard. But I got no care about the numbers it does. It's just I want to see this real bad. This is.
Well, I was curious because you mentioned Prograis doing the media circuit. And,
yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily gonna.
Might it? Maybe let me frame the argument. I think that, or should I say, do you think that Prograis Taylor has the potential to sort of overachieve when it is just a hardcore fight? I think you compared it to obviously Beterbiev and Vajdic, but those are two Eastern European fighters fighting in the U.S. market on ESPN Plus. I want to say it was it ESPN? No, it was regular ESPN. That's right. We have viewership that we're going to talk about later on. That fight had no real pull with the demographic, honestly, that it was geared towards. This fight is Josh Taylor fighting in the UK, where he's from. Maybe it's not Scotland, but still the UK. And Regis Prograis is American, so at least you have that segment of the audience watching it. Is there any chance this can sort of overachieve its hardcore status and do 300,000 pay-per-view buys in the UK?
It might because of Chisora Price.
Mm-hmm.
And the undercard might push it. I mean, Chisora told everybody there's the reason I'm the main event. I'm selling the tickets. People are going to buy the pay-per-views. So it may well do actually, but I just based the original, I guess, prediction off of the main event. But thinking about who's underneath it, and because that's got quite a lot of buzz over here now. Chisora Price.
I felt like it had to. It's a heavyweight fight. Two guys have always been good draws. Gary. I'm not going to ask you what you think it's going to do on DAZN. No one really cares. And we're never going to know. So, I mean, let's be honest. Like, that just doesn't matter. Who do you think is going to win? You've been the one on sort of our, panel here, including Fu, that I felt like that you have sat on the fence the most. Rob is firmly picked. I think I have a firm pick and a firm argument. You have sat on the fence and sort of waffled here. Where do you sit now?
I haven't kind of waffled. Like every time one of the guys have fought, I said, "Oh, that guy's definitely the best fighter in the weight class." Whenever the Tartan Tornado would fight, I would say, "Oh, Taylor's the best 140 pounder in the world." And then Prograis would fight. I said, "Oh, he's even better." After Prograis' last performance, and Taylor's was good too, but Taylor was really tested. I said, "Okay, Prograis is the best guy, and I think Prograis will win the fight." Now, as we get closer to the fight, I'm starting to waffle again. Like, I think Prograis is better. He's the more skilled guy. And there's more gears to Prograis. Prograis will go on and have the better career. But Taylor is stylistically as tall, as rangy, and with power. I don't know how Prograis is going to pick him. Is going to beat him. He has to get inside constantly, and that's not really the way Prograis fights. Now, I think Prograis is good enough where he can figure this out. But if we go to the cards and this thing is close, don't you kind of feel it's going to Taylor?
Yeah, I definitely have a point about that when I start ranting about it. But yeah, I think you're probably right that Taylor is more geared towards winning a round in this style matchup than Prograis.
So Prograis got to knock him out. And Taylor's been in with Baranchak. He's been in with Postal. So he's been in with top-notch, top 5 guys. Mm-hmm. They haven't been able to stop him. Now, none of those guys are as good as Prograis. I'm going to flip a coin on this. Like, I'm going to go with Prograis officially. but I may text you a change of mind as we get closer to Saturday. For the show, I'm going to take Prograis by split decision.
All right. Rob,
Yeah.
because I know you're picking the opposite way. Your thoughts on this fight and the X's and O's, and how does Josh Taylor beat Regis Prograis?
For me, I think he's the better boxer. I think he's longer. What, Gary? Chill out on the faces.
Taylor's the better boxer than Prograis?
Yeah, I believe so. But
He's the more traditional boxer.
yeah, I think he's got a better. I think he'll be longer. So I think if he can establish the jab, my only concern is Taylor likes to get in close and have a tear up when he can just get on be like the boxer, but he likes to jump in and let the hands go, and I guess that's where the risk is. But for me, we've seen Taylor in a couple of tough spots, and he's always come through it. And we've seen that he can, he's got that dog in him, and he can, when it matters, he can come through that. I don't think we've seen Prograis tested, and it'll be interesting to see if he's in a tough spot how he comes out of it. So based on what I've seen and what what sort of looks I've seen from different people, and where I guess Taylor being in tough spots but coming through early on in a career, I am going to lean Josh Taylor, and I think I'm really hesitant to think.
Sorry.
I just don't know about a stoppage or a knockdown or anything. I don't know. I think these two could just go to. I don't know. If it was in the old days, I could see this being like round fucking 29 or something, and they're still just stood there trading off and going crazy with each other. Because I don't know. I just think it's going to be epic. I know lately, which is great for boxing, but we keep saying this could be a fight of the year. This could be a fight of the year. This could be a fight. There seems to be a bunch of them, but this definitely has all the makings of being fight of the year. I just want to see Prograis tested, and if he comes through that test, yeah, it could be a difficult night for Taylor. It really is. Like I say, I'm not like Prograis this, that, and the other. Taylor's gonna demolish him. He's no good. Taylor's the man. I'm not doing the whole flag waving thing, because to me this is really, I've just sent you the odds, Matt. I mean, Prograis is a -162, Taylor's a +136. There's not really anything.
It's basically even money.
Yeah, so it's as close to a 50-50 as you're going to get, I guess. So may the best man win. Really, this is going to be epic, and the winner of this to me is the best in the division, even though Ramirez is over there with 2 belts. But this will be the number one in the division, in my opinion.
I have several points. I'll get to that last one though, but please remind me, because I'm going to have several points to make. But I want to get to that whole, is this the fight to determine the number one guy in the division? I don't want to leave this fight before we talk about that more in depth. I agree with a lot of the sentiments that you both said, because you both said similar things, especially when it comes to what Taylor sort of needs to do to win. He needs to stay at range. He needs to use his reach, his height. And on top of that, he is a southpaw. He's a guy that naturally can probably circle Prograis with the jab, with combinations on the outside a little more easier than Prograis. When Prograis is naturally a guy that wants to be on the inside exchanging combinations. However, some things are needed to do that. One, you need to land your jab. And while Taylor is quite efficient with his jab, quite accurate with his jab, and has a powerful jab on top of it too, Prograis is one of those guys where he might be the hardest guy to hit clean in this division. He's fought guys that have hit defensive boxers. Caleb Ray, like a guy that gave Rancis Bartholomew a tough fight back-to-back, okay? Wasn't really able to land much on Regis Prograis. Why? Because Prograis' defense is actually really top-notch. Even though he is an aggressive come-forward fighter, a lot of his game is predicated off of his defense, actually. His ability to slip a shot and then quickly sort of separate that distance between him and his opponent and get on the inside. Prograis has a knack for that. And Taylor is going to have to throw someone else in the jab probably to hit Prograis, in my opinion. Because in my thinking, while the jab is absolutely important, it's crucial to Taylor's game here to hit that jab and then keep circling to his right, keep circling to the right, and keep turning Prograis. You have to do that. If he's not able to land that jab, he's going to have to land something else with that left hand, maybe an uppercut, maybe a short left hand on the inside, left straight. And again, Prograis is really adept at slipping shots and rolling undershots. And I think that ultimately Taylor's going to have a really hard time hitting him. And I think almost in similar fashion to the fight last week with Beterbiev and Vajic, I think probably Taylor's going to be up on scorecards when the stoppage happens because he's going to be throwing more shots. I think because of his boxing sort of game plan, it will look nicer at times. And I do think it's going to land combinations, air quotes, on Prograis. Prograis is going to be slipping them and rolling with them quite well, but he's going to sort of just eat shots and roll with them until he gets on the inside and starts landing his combinations. And then once that happens, once he separates that distance consistently, the power is going to take over for Prograis, in my opinion. The aggressiveness of Prograis is going to take over, in my opinion. And when we talk about aggressive fighters, it's one thing just to be an aggressive fighter and a brawler. It's another thing to be an aggressive fighter who has elite level boxing skill and talent. And Prograis has that in spades. So that's going to make his aggressiveness even more efficient. I think this is going to be a fun fight where, again, Taylor's probably going to be throwing more, but missing more. And Prograis by round 4, 5, 6 is going to take over. And the wear and tear of the body work of Prograis is going to take over. And expect a late fight finish, maybe round 10, TKO, Prograis finishing Taylor. And I think it's going to be maybe not an instant classic, but it's definitely going to be probably in that top 15-ish fights that we talk about at the end of the year. 100%. Guys, any last thoughts about the X's and O's and who wins this fight?
I wanted to add, this is the best fight. Not the biggest fight, certainly, but I think the best fight. You have two undefeated fighters, both in their absolute prime, fighting. And we've got this because of the World Boxing Super Series, which everyone likes to dump on, right? So, again, it's not bigger than Spence Porter, but it's a more competitive and better fight with two. I mean, I can't believe we're really getting this fight. We don't really get this type of fight in boxing too often.
Now, to that point, is this the fight to determine the number one guy at junior welterweight? Rob, I think you made the claim that it is. However, similar, I think, just the way the universe works, this fight mirrors Beterbiev and Vajic in a lot of ways. That fight, to me, clearly determined the number one guy in the division because it was the only unified champion after that fight. I would say if you're comparing it to Bivol, the winner of that fight would have a better resume than Bivol does. While this sort of division is not the case. The winner of the winner of this fight is a unified champion along with Jose Ramirez, who also is a unified champion. On top of it, I don't know if you can make the argument as cleanly that the winner of this fight has a out-and-out better resume than Jose Ramirez. Again, you can make the argument, but it's not as clear-cut. So I don't know if the winner of this fight is the clear number one guy in the division. You can clearly make that argument, but I don't know if it is a consensus. I don't know if it's as clear-cut as, let's say, the winner of last weekend's fight in Beterbiev and Vajic. Guys,
I want to address that, right? Because months ago, before Hooker Ramirez, if I would have said rank these four guys, Prograis, Taylor, Hooker, Ramirez, you would have said either Prograis and Taylor as 1 and 2, and then Ramirez and Hooker as 3 and 4. So basically, you had 3 and 4 fight each other. Well, you can't get above 1 and 2 unless you beat one of those guys, right? And now you have 1 and 2 fighting each other. So how are they not the winner of that? Not number one.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But your premise on its surface before we even started was highly subjective. I don't know if we can make the argument that Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis were the clear number 1, number 2 when this tournament started. And I don't know if we can say that now, because Ramirez clearly showed high elite level boxing skill against Maurice Hooker.
Let me ask you this though, Matt. Hooker versus Prograis at 140. Prograis wins that, right?
Yes.
Taylor beats Hooker too, right?
No.
Oh,
Get out. Fucking
and I'm the Texas fanboy. I would pick Prograis to beat Taylor. Oh, Hooker's on my wall too.
Oh my god.
You disrespect boxing, you piece of shit.
When Matt answered no.
You finally got one! Yay! I've been waiting forever for one of those sound bites. Anyways.
Oh my god.
Rob, but you're the one that really made the claim that like the winner of this one is the number 1 guy. Do you think it's clear? Like, do you think it's without a doubt in your mind? And I'm only asking your opinion now, which is fine. Whatever your opinion is,
I mean,
that's fine.
look, I know you said Gary's reasoning was no sort of premise to make that argument, but this is all on our opinion. You're asking, do we think the winner of this guy fight is the clear number 1? And I'm along the lines of Gary that Prograis Taylor 1 and 2, whichever order, and then it was maybe Ramirez Hooker. Now they fought each other, which means the winner of that is 3, and then the winner of this is 1 and 2. Until Ramirez faces off with the winner of this, we won't actually know, because the winner of that is the undisputed champion. But as it stands right now, the winner of this fight, in my opinion, is the best 140-pounder in the division.
You all made good arguments. I just don't know if I agree with it, but hey, we can move on. Derek Chisora fighting David Price in the co-main event. Oh, guys, how long does this one last? 4 rounds? 3 rounds? Like, how long does it take for Chisora to knock out David Price?
That's a very defeatist attitude.
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I'm always in there for a David Price knockout. You know, like those are always comical.
Price is a plus 300. That's all. 3-1.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Again,
wins together. He has like he beat David Allen and then he beat the other Cash Ali guy.
He didn't beat Cash Ali. He got bit.
He got bit.
Is that what I can't remember that fight?
Yeah, he got disqualified for biting Chisora on the nipple.
That's right. That's right.
No, Price. No, it's Price, right? No,
Huh?
Cash Ali bit Price, not Chisora.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah, he done a kinkier version of Tyson Holyfield, that's all.
Yeah.
He went a little more central. Although the earlobe, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm picking Chisora. And there is that, Chisora, Price, if he hits you, you might stay hit. But if you hit him, he's staying hit. It'd be interesting if Chisora lands that punch he landed on Spilka. I can see David Price going down just as heavy as Spilka did, but Price, I don't know, he's kind of like a confidence man, and like Gary said, whether it was because of a disqualification and this, that, and the other, he's got a little run going, and I think the confidence is there, and he showed against, I know it's Dave Allen, and before anyone says, oh, wow, good Dave Allen, I'm just saying, but he put together some good boxing, and he kept Dave Allen away, and he put on, a decent display. I'm not making any bones about it. This isn't the world elite heavyweight that can offer us right now, but it's a fun fight, but I can see, I'm picking Chisora by knockout, but I don't know how long it'll take to do that. But a switched on David Price is dangerous. Look, he nearly, if that corner hadn't have held Povetkin up, I don't know. He fucking absolutely launched Povetkin across the ring, and he was lucky enough to have the Scooby-Doo legs to keep him upright. He backpedaled and the corner held him up. It might have been different, but as we know, David Price can sometimes switch off, leave his chin in the air, and there seems to be that good night button on there. So I don't know, but it's a fun fight. It's a good co-main and entertaining, and the crowd will be right up for it, and it'll be good watching, I think.
Gary, thoughts on the co-main?
I think Chisora wins, but I think it's competitive and fun. I think I'd say 6th-round knockout. But I think both guys have moments. Just Chisora's too big and too much, right? Like the only thing I like about Chisora is he's huge and fairly athletic for a guy that size.
Yes, agreed. And I definitely think that he has a better, gas tank than David Price as well. I think that might be a factor. But if it is a factor, oh God, help us all if this fight starts going rounds, and Chisora needs to worry about, or Chisora needs to lean on his cardio. Moving on, another really good fight on this undercard: Ricky Burns versus Lee Selby. Definitely a crossroads fight for both guys. Ricky Burns, tail end of his career. This might even be like one of his, if not his last fight in his career. A guy that's been around for a very long time. Definitely one of the best Scottish boxers of all time. Lee Selby, though, is a guy that had so much hype and so much potential, but has struggled, especially since obviously the Josh Warrington loss. Has not looked that good. Jumped all the way up, I think, to 140 for a fight, right? Did he jump up to 140 or just 135?
135, I think.
Okay. I know this fight was rumored for a period of time to be at 140, but they settled at 135. And I'm concerned sort of where like Lee Selby is at in his career. Does he have the dedication for the sport anymore? Is he going to sort of rebound and rebuild his career from that devastating loss? This is one of those fights that's going to determine that. If he can't beat a old veteran, but again, old Ricky Burns, that's a massive red flag for a guy like Lee Selby. Guys, thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I never thought we were going to see a fight like this fight come together, but yeah, okay, kind of out of nowhere, this fight was made. Just so you know, this is very similar betting odds to Prograis Taylor. It's very, very tight, almost evens. But Selby is the very slight favorite. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one, but you've got to think maybe Selby, if he's on point, will be just too good for Ricky Burns, I think. But I think it could be a fun fight. Ricky Burns is, is proven tough, legit sort of operator. But yeah, I think Selby might just be a little bit too classy for him.
Gary, thoughts on Ricky Burns, Lee Selby?
I thought this was going to be my big upset pick, but now Rob is telling me the odds are fairly even. I'm going to pick Ricky Burns to go to the well one more time. He looked good in his last fight against Scott Cardle. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Sure.
Ricky Burns has fought at 140, and he even fought Omar Figueroa at 47. He's going to be naturally the bigger guy. I think he knows that this is his last stand. And you look at Ricky Burns, he's probably a Hall of Famer. Lee Selby's not. So that tells me that Burns is better. He's better and bigger. And he knows this is it. If he loses, he goes into irrelevancy. I'm going to pick Burns to eke out a split decision.
I'm not mad with that at all. I think probably Ricky Burns. Is Ricky Burns the actual favorite? Rob, who's the actual betting favorite, even though it's close?
Lee Selby, marginally.
Okay. Gun to my head, I'm going to go with Gary here. I'm picking Ricky Burns, man. I've always been a big fan of Ricky Burns. When I traveled to Scotland, it was like a week after he lost to Terrence Crawford, and it was noticeable there, man. They were sad. So, Ricky Burns, always support you, man. The rest of the undercard, though, I don't have a lot of thoughts on. Lawrence Okolie is on the card.
In a big fight, the guy he's fighting, I don't. How do you say his last name?
Yves Nagabu.
He's supposed to be. I don't know much about him. He's pretty highly regarded in circles. I'm into that fight. I don't know anything about him, but I know he's supposed to be good. So I'm looking forward to seeing him fight against Okolie. I mean, that should be.
Ooh, he beat Mickey Nielsen. Okay. Oh, he's not bad. Okay. Nagabu.
Quite a knockout ratio as well.
14 knockouts on 20. It's not amazing, but it's definitely, it's over 50%. Cool. It's a Lawrence Okolie fight, so I automatically am just worried and skeptical about it.
Nah, he's improving under McGuigan. He's got a busy night for McGuigan.
Conor Benn on the card, Austin Ammo Williams on the card, Shannon Courtney on the card, a guy named Dennis Radovan, who's undefeated with a draw, who I've never heard of, Abbas Barreo,
Wait, let me get the card up.
who's 7-0. I've never heard of him, fighting John O'Donnell. But yeah, Austin Ammo Williams, he's fighting. Conor Benn's fighting. Basically, after you get from like at least Subby Ricky Burns, the card kind of turns into just a matchroom card.
But there's 3 good fights on it, and then
Absolutely.
a couple like Ammo Williams and Okolie. So there's
a good
good
card.
prospects. Yeah, it's a.
good
I
card.
think it's a really good card.
No,
in
it is.
total.
Decent.
Yeah, it's a good
The
card.
ones you're struggling with, Matt, are the ones where Callus Haviland's asked to be on the card. The other ones are all matchroom.
Not surprised.
But no, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure. I think it's decent. I think Conor Benn's opponent pulled out 2 days ago or today or whatever, but there's been a replacement. So
Laszlo Toth is the name I have.
what, the latest one?
Yes,
So-
well, I that's the name. Oh, no, sorry, not Laszlo. I think it's an I. Lazio Toth.
Yes.
Yes. Fugatti in the chat. What Fugatti? Hope you're at work listening to the show. Saying Matt pronouncing names is a favorite moment of mine.
It should be its own little segment. Like Matt pronouncing foreign names.
It's really good.
Rob,
No,
what
hold
was
on,
the
hold
name of
on,
the guy?
hold on, quickly. You guys shit on me, but I have a better percentage of getting them right than getting them wrong. More than you guys.
but I don't try as often, right? So like, if
Yeah,
something's
you're
hard,
like
just don't even try. You know.
Yeah, Gary don't care.
Rob, what was the name of the guy that Sam Egginton just beat?
Oh, fuck that. I ain't even trying.
Oh no, it was the Figueiredo. No, that's the Brazilian fighter.
You're going down the right path. It starts with a fee.
It was like a double figure.
Matt said that's like 3 names stuck together. It's Fidia Giulio.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not. Yeah, we're moving past that, guys. Any last thoughts on this card?
Now you said it, Gary. It's easy. Fidio Giulio.
It's not hard.
No.
Any
But reading it, get the fuck out of it.
any last thoughts on this card, gentlemen?
Excellent card.
Congratulations, you have my £20.
Moving on.